I am Justin Johnson. I'm VP of Client Solutions here at Think Idea Studio. I've been I did websites for probably 13, 14 years. And, we have 13 years of experience here. And then the company itself's been around for about 18 years. And so what's interesting is these things, technology moves so fast that it's really hard to be an expert. So I don't claim to be a complete expert. These things can move and pivot and change, especially with COVID, man, things changed quickly. So the topic of discussion here is Google My Business. I think the biggest thing we want to first communicate is what is it, and then how can it benefit our business? And it's been such a huge resource, and it's really picking up steam over the last few years. It's been out for a while, but it's been pretty neat and very important to small businesses and businesses that are getting search traffic. So let's talk a little bit before we get into it about push marketing. We like to classify marketing in two different types: push marketing and pull marketing. So push marketing means that you are trying to educate someone about your product. You're trying to let them know, hey, we're here. They may not be asking for you yet, but with push marketing, it has some certain criteria to go around it. Let me, one second, another hold up. There we go. Y'all see that screen change. So with push marketing, you see a lot of traditional marketing like radio, TV, billboard. I put signage on there because signage can actually be push and pull. Public relations, like community involvement, donations, and then content marketing, like your social media, your press releases. So with push marketing, again, we're trying to gain brand awareness. We're trying to make sure that people know about us, and they may not be asking yet. So new products, new companies, new businesses that don't have a lot of brand awareness, push marketing is going to be very important for. Then we go into pull marketing. So with pull marketing, that's when the customer knows exactly what they're looking for. Pull marketing is if I need a plumber, if I'm ready to eat, if I need a hotel to stay in. Pull marketing you have a need right then, and so you're asking for it. And so that's what gives us these search queries and gives us the demand. So again, push is we're educating. Push is that we're letting people know we exist. Pull is people know you exist, they're asking for you, or they're asking for your service specifically. So that can be your website. That can be listings like Google My Business. It can be search marketing. So if people are searching on Google, searching on Bing, search marketing is part of that. And I said physical location and signage can be both. So the reason why is because your signage can create awareness with your brand. Your signage can also be a mechanism for people to find out where your business is when they're looking for it. So it's interesting how that falls into both. Now, pull marketing is limited to how many people are seeking your products and services. So if people aren't asking for it, then there's not pull marketing for you. You need to push your message out there. But if people are asking for your products or services, then it's available. But it is limited to how many searches are in your area. If someone comes into your area and searches 100 times for restaurants that month, that's the cap. That's all you have. So we're all competing for those 100 searches. We either need to increase the awareness so people are searching for restaurants in the area more, or just make sure we're doing a good job of being listed when that comes around. So push and pull marketing, wanted to tell the difference between the two. That way we kind of understand what Google My Business and how powerful it is, because pull marketing, it says studies across industries show that pull traffic converts 68% higher than push traffic. This number makes it clear why businesses are ready to pay a higher price for pull, and shows the importance of branding. So what that means is showing the importance of branding is raising your brand awareness. With our company, we do a lot of logo and brand design, and we feel like your brand should really stand out graphically, aesthetically, and it should communicate clear. And so if it does not, you're not creating that pull demand for yourself that you may be able to. So you need to make sure your brand is very important. But it's also why businesses are really jumping into the pull marketing and the search marketing. So Google currently holds 90.1% of the total search engine market share. I know for me personally, they probably have 99% of my search volume, but it's king right now. So one thing it's important to understand is really the anatomy of a search. We want to know where we're showing up, why something's showing here, and how that comes about. I pulled this from a mobile standpoint. Mobile sometimes differs from what you get than when you're in desktop. And so, but most of our traffic is a mobile-based traffic. So we have to keep that in mind. I think a lot of us want to go to desktop, and even my mind, since I started with the desktop era, we're like, we need our desktop to look great. But if we're not focusing on mobile, we're missing the boat. So this is a mobile search engine results page, or SERP. And a lot of times what pops up first, if someone is interested in buying ads in these queries, which a query would be like electricians near me. This would be the query. So when that popped up, people are bidding on electricians. And so you see the ad that popped up, the McGrew Service Company. They are bidding on that term. So they're popping up top, and you see them designated as an ad. Not all searches will result in ads. That will vary based on who's interested. So then you have the Google My Business is going to be right under that a lot of times. So you'll have the ads pop up top, and you may even have some ads, Google My Business ads pop in there, as you see the one here on the example. But with it, you're going to have the very next thing, and it's going to be interactive. It's going to have the maps with it. You're going to have the option to call. So that's where Google My Business is showing up. And then the next one is organic website listings. Organic to me means non-paid. That means that your website deserves to be shown there based on the content on your website, based on website traffic, and really based on how your website is built. Is it fast? Does it deserve to be shown with mobile websites? If your website is bogged down and slow, it may not be able to be a result. We're showing here listing services. I think that's interesting because a lot of these listing services try to get organic ranks for their customers as well. So sometimes you're competing with your, especially hotels, you're going to compete with a ton of listing services and a ton of third parties. So organic website listings are really hard to come by, especially depending on your market. Now, if you have a very specific niche like plumbers in this town, yada, yada, and you're just getting for this particular need, you're more likely to get ranked. But if it's really broad, we see a lot of people in there competing for those same spots. So organic listings. Okay, now let's talk about the importance of Google My Business. So if you guys see this iceberg here, I did a little bit of research yesterday with some of our clients, and I think some of these results will surprise you. You see the top, we see our website, and then we see the bottom here, we see Google My Business. And sometimes we just really don't know how much it's being used. And there is some data and stats that I'll go over. You can figure that out. But one of our clients we did was I did a quick little cross-reference on was a dental client of ours, Cersei Dental Associates. And if you look at the top, you see the Google My Business traffic. And at the bottom, you see their website traffic. Their Google My Business traffic is 5 times more for this particular business than their website traffic alone. If that doesn't tell you the importance of your Google My Business being optimized, being claimed, being accurate, having good photos, then I don't know what will, because the data is right there. Now, I will say this, depending on the industry, this will vary. These numbers will vary. I picked out one that was most strongly Google My Business. For us at Think, believe it or not, our website is actually more than our Google My Business traffic. And that's because the amount of times people are searching for that type of term. But if you are a term that's searched heavily, Google My Business more than likely is going to outrank your site, and sometimes by a wide margin. So it's very important that our brand is relevant and that we're putting the best foot forward there. So I thought that those numbers were pretty interesting. So in Google My Business, we have contact information, reviews, insights, which is the stats and giving you, that's the top corner I showed you a second ago, photos and videos. Videos are a little bit tricky. They are limited to 30 seconds and under, the megabytes. It's low in megabytes. So you need to do it's pretty much your quick commercials or something that's low res. They just don't have a ton of space there. Posts, which we'll get into. Google My Business offers a website. That can be an option. Customer messaging, which is huge. When you have the app, you can message customers. They can message you back and forth. And then short names, which is something that that isn't used as widely, but I think it's worth at least discussing. So here's a quick overview of kind of how the back office looks, and then you're going to see how that translates to a page and then to maps. So when you log into Google, you'll go to google.com/business, and I have some slides on this in just a second. the back end is going to look a little bit like the left side of the screen. And then when you see the middle, that's what it's going to translate to. You see the reviews, you see the ratings, and it's also going to be prevalent on the map. So local search statistics, this is 86% of people look up the location of a business on Google Maps. So how many of you have? I'm sure a lot of people have constantly looked and said, you know what, where is the closest place to eat? Where I want Mexican food, where's that at? So the next one, this is interesting, is 72% of consumers who perform a local search visit a store within 5 miles of their current location. So when I talk about proximity playing a role, proximity is going to play a huge role with Google's algorithm, but when they're there and they're searching on the map, more than likely they're ready to buy. So that's why pull marketing converts so much, is because they're ready to eat, they need the service, they're ready to go. So we want to be able to be relevant there. So the top determining factors of Google Map rank. And I did a quick search here. These were, let's see, what search did I do? These were restaurants in Eureka Springs, I believe, and this is what it showed for me. So the factors that determine this, and it is a little bit in the nitty gritty to say if you're guaranteed to rank if you do these or not, because you're really just not. It's really hard to do, but we want to give every opportunity to be ranked in this. So we want to check as many boxes as we possibly can. Credibility and visibility is huge. That means that you care, you've claimed your business, you've tried to get it going, you are updating your hours and those types of things. Positive reviews. If we can generate positive reviews, our business ranks better. Proximity is another huge factor, how close you are. You know that last stat I just gave you, within the 5-mile radius. Google wants to show relevant results, so they're going to show whoever's closest. So even though you may be 30 minutes away from where they're searching, somebody that's 5 minutes away may rank better than you. Optimized listings. That simply means that we've checked all the boxes that we can. We have our hours, our information, we have our business claim, we have photos up. We're doing those types of things. Those all play a role in how it's listed. Now, there are strange circumstances that I've seen where you've done all these and you're still not getting ranked. And sometimes there's ways to reach out and figure that out. But more than likely, these are going to get you there. So to claim your business, first thing you want to do, and this may sound simple, is to make sure that you have a business Google account. If you have an account that is somebody that said, hey, I'll claim it for you, and it's not under a business account, or they don't know how to add your profile to that, then that's going to be a problem down the road. A lot of businesses that I run into, somebody has claimed their account and they cannot contact that email anymore. So I decided we needed a slide designated just for this. Make sure that you have a business Google account that stays with the business, that you can claim this. Now, by business, I don't mean a special Google account, just a Google account that you use for the business. Sign in with that, and make sure you know how to log in. Make sure you use that frequently so that it stays with the business. So businesses are going to be in a few different states. You're going to have a claimed business, which this is one of our clients here. Their information is there. It's claimed. It says a check mark there that you manage this business profile. So that is a claimed business. Unclaimed business. A lot of times you'll see it where it says own this business, and you can click on that to try to claim it, and it'll start stepping you through the process. Again, make sure you're logged in with your Google account before you start doing this. Unclaimed business is one status. And then there's another one, which is one of the hardest ones, is the unknown business user. And this is why I say make sure you have your Google account logged in and you know where it is. We've dealt with people that have had someone claim it that was there and is gone, and we can't reach that email anymore. And it's a 2 to 3 week process sometimes before we get it claimed. So that's another scenario. And that happens a lot, and it can be remedied. It just takes some time. So those are some different statuses. When you go to google.com/business, the best thing to do is just type the business name in there and let them start stepping you through the process. When you do type the business name in there, there's going to be different ways you can claim it. And Google will give you these options. Not everybody has the same options. It's all going to be based on the status of your listing. One is the phone call. So if you say call, they will call your business. And if someone is there, make sure that when you have them call their business, if it's a reception, if it's you're ready for this phone call, because it can be confusing and people can hang up on it. So hit call, they'll give you a code. You write that code down, and then you hit the next button on Google, and they'll be ready for you to enter that code. Email is the other one. You can get a code via email if the business has been like abandoned and claimed by somebody. That's hard if you don't have access to that email. Postcard by mail is the most common way. A lot of the new businesses, they want to verify your address. Again, Google wants to make sure it's accurate. So they're going to mail you a postcard. It's going to take 3 to 5 business days. Please make sure wherever that's coming, people are aware that that postcard is coming in. I've seen them thrown away, and it just pushes it back another week, because then we got to claim another postcard and Google will send it out. But then once you get that in, you can enter that card and verify your listing. So those are the main ways that you claim your business. After you claim it, the ways to access it, Google My Business does have an app. The app is highly recommended for you to download. With that app, you have immediate communication back and forth with your clients. It's almost like a text. It's really nice. So the Google My Business app is going to be available on your Apple stores, as well as Google Play and those platforms. The other way to do it is from a desktop, and it's okay to do it with your desktop location as well. I actually prefer setting up my Google My Business pages with the desktop, because it's easier to have access to photos and things. So that's google.com/business. Okay, now let's dig into a little bit more. Google reviews. We have our business page set up. Google reviews play a huge role. I actually had a client a few years ago that said, hey, I had a consultant come in and said, we need more Google reviews. And I said, well, why would you need that? That isn't, to me, I wasn't sold. Like, I didn't understand how important they were. We did a Google campaign, review campaign internally. And I mean, their business, they could attribute so many leads to having positive reviews. It was unbelievable. So after that experience, and then obviously all the data out there, I was sold. Google reviews are huge, and you need a process in place for this. 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as they trust personal recommendations. I think that's pretty interesting. And that's why a lot of times if we have negative reviews, we got to work really hard to try to remedy that situation, try to make sure that that situation is satisfied, because people do believe what they put on there. And Google makes sure that they allow those to come in. I've had people contact me and say, hey, I got a negative review, I want to get it removed. And I was like, we can't just go and remove your review. That wouldn't be, no one's going to trust those reviews if they're all positive and no negative. So it's part of it. We need a process in place, and we can discuss that at another seminar of review remedy, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, just keep in mind that does happen. So Google My Business reviews, when you have your business claimed, you can actually go in there and share your review form. People ask me a lot if they want to get Facebook reviews or if you want to get Google reviews. And I say both, but keep in mind where your most traffic is and where most people are going to see it. I would rather if I had the choice, I'd rather have a Google review if my Google reviews are just bare than the Facebook reviews. People are visiting that Google My Business page more than they're visiting your Facebook page. Facebook content is usually consumed in stream, where Google My Business content is that pull type of marketing that we see where people are seeing that directly. So we definitely want to make sure that we're satisfying that and getting reviews on Google My Business. So here's a process, and here's a concept that we use. There's other third-party services that you can purchase that help you as whether it's a hotel or restaurant, that helps you get reviews. Those are great. Not everybody can afford those or have access to those. So here's an easy process that we've created for some of our clients. And the first thing is to make sure that you have this process that's repeatable. That process is to incentivize employee or staff to gather reviews. We don't want to incentivize the customers. We don't want to say, hey, I'll give you a gift card to review me. That's not in my opinion, the best way to get reviews. That's a way to kind of just do it inorganically. But if your employees are understanding they need to ask for these reviews after good service, after that's been experienced, we try to make sure that they have, let's say, if an employee can get 3 new reviews this month, they get this steak dinner, or they get this type of incentive, whatever motivates your employees. The best part about that is that they're asking people, and people are giving reviews, and they're also trying to give really great service on top of that because they know they're getting reviews. So we recommend incentivizing employee or staff to gather reviews and making sure that that's a constant month-to-month metric that you're checking. I know in our office, we have a checkbox of 5, and we want to try to get 5 reviews, and we work as an office to get those. And if we get 5 reviews, then we feel like we've accomplished a lot that month. So set a number and make sure that you're having some type of method. If this doesn't work for you, make sure that there's a method that does, or use a third-party service to do so. So when you get that, you want to share that copied URL that I showed you initially. Basically, you say, okay, employee, here's the URL we have. If they're sending an email or if they're using a business card or whatever it may be, they make sure and share that via text or email. I would say business cards are really hard to translate. So if they can translate that URL via text or email, social media post, website, that's fine as well. But we want to make sure and capture that, send them to that place where that URL is copied and pasted so that the customer can create that review most easily. We don't want extra steps. Also, when you're asking for that from the customers, ask for just a few sentences. It doesn't have to be long. Just make sure they understand that they can go in there and click 5-star and be done. That's great. But if they can just give us a couple sentences, it's going to be huge for our business and ranking, and will literally add to the bottom line of revenue at the end of it all. One question I constantly get is, how many reviews do I need for my business? I think it's a very good question. All industries do vary. If you are in a highly competitive industry, check out your competitors. What kind of reviews do they have? Do they have 30 or 40? Do they have 2 or 3? Try to base your strategy on trying to make sure that we're staying on pace with what they're doing. Some of them have been doing this for a while, so don't let it seem daunting. But usually a plan that generates 3 to 5 reviews a month can be sufficient for most. But if it's very competitive, you may need to be more aggressive with that. So be aware of your competitors. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick. We're gonna go into Google Posts. Any questions about reviews that you're seeing, or should I keep going? Good? Continue? Okay, great. Again, stop me if you guys have anything. Usually reviews is a big hot topic, but they definitely need to be managed, and they're very important. Okay, Google Posts. The Google Post thing is really interesting because a lot of people are confused where it shows up. Why is it necessary? I'm posting on Facebook. Why am I posting on Google? Google Posts are designed for a reason to promote events, offers, and general content. Right now they're really good to talk about COVID and what type of response your business is having to COVID. Making sure that's on there is something that I would, if you don't have it right now, make sure that you do. Blog articles, company news, upcoming events, special offers, and product promotions. If you are a restaurant and you have a half off kids night or something like that, or kids eat free, I would absolutely put that on Google My Business, because they're going to be asking where to go and they're going to see these offers you have. Some things to remember about Google Posts is there's a max of 10 posts. They'll be displayed in a carousel on your Google My Business page. They will have views and metrics of engagement, which are kind of neat to see. And after 7 days, they're removed after 7 days, except for event posts, which are removed after the day the event happens. So know that if you put that up, it's not just going to stay there forever. You're going to have to keep managing the Google My Business page. Sometimes this can be a daunting process. I would say do it as much as you can. And again, be aware of your competitors. What are they doing, and making sure we're staying competitive in that. Here's an example of an offer from Mike's Family Pizzeria. And they have a good photo to go with it. And it also presents you a call to action. So it could be call now or visit. And again, this is a kids eat free type of offer. Those are great to put and use Google My Business posts for. And you can just retread those. Like once they expire, use the same ones again. Let's retread them. We don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. Those offers that have worked for your business, continue to use those. I think that's something to definitely document, is when these offers come out, what's successful, and then just store them in a pack of 4 or 5, and you know how to copy and paste those into there when the time presents itself. So try to make it easy and make a process for it. Okay, and we're moving on now to Google Insights. Google Insights is kind of what I showed you, the comparison to the website in earlier slides. Google Insights do give information on how much your business is seen on Google. One thing to keep in mind though, and I know a lot of people can get into the weeds of comparing, well, my Google Analytics, and for those of you that don't know, Google Analytics is the free service through Google that gives you website traffic. And so website traffic, it can be plugged into any website, and it's fantastic in giving you metrics, giving you all types of data, more data than you could possibly want about your website and visitors sometimes. Google Insights sometimes does not match up with Google Analytics. So keep in mind that, and this is a quote, it said that a guy that's, it says he's a Google My Business Gold product expert. And it said, Google My Business Insights are far from perfect. As with any tool, these are merely a benchmark that points you in a direction. Google My Business Insights in particular are not very accurate and can sometimes suffer from data outages. However, they can give you an indication of how you are doing. So they're not the gospel. We don't need to get in the weeds about, analytics or this. Go for analytics. Analytics is going to give you a better tracking, but Google Insights just gives you an idea. Use that as a crutch and see how much it's being viewed. It's important to mention that because I think a lot of people get confused on it because there are some inaccuracies. Here is a quick shot of the Insights tab. When you click on it, you will see the queries. Queries are basically the search terms people are typing in to search engines to see you. And so it'll rank those queries. So this is very interesting, and seeing how people are finding your business. The other ways they find your business, this can be, so discovery, direct, and branded. I think I did those out of order. How about direct, discovery, and branded? But the direct traffic means they're going in and typing your name directly. Mike's Pizzeria, that would be direct. They're typing in your name. Discovery means they're searching for something like pizza in Eureka Springs. Now that's a discovery type, and you can see how much discovery plays a role with this particular listing. But discovery is going to be huge, especially for tourists. They're going to want to come in and say, hey, what type of pizza is here? What type of Italian food is here? And that's going to be a big line share of it. Branded would be anything that is closely related to your business, any type of brand marketing you put out, that maybe it's an offer you have for that, but it's not exactly your business name. So it usually doesn't take up as much of the traffic. Here's a quick view of what this traffic thing looks like, or the insights look like. The listings in search are the orange, and then the listings on map. You're usually going to have more in search than you will have on map, but that's all going to vary for business. Then the next one's pretty cool. It shows the customer actions. You can see how many people went to your website, requested directions, called you, and then if you have your messenger pulled up and enabled, you have to have the app to have messaging on there. So when you get the app, you can have your message and clients can message you directly. That's really handy. All right, and the next one is short names. When you see the field that's the at field, this is one that can be confusing, and it's not used a ton, but you enter in and create a short name. So for us, it was Think Idea Studio. That's going to be a unique identifier for your business. For Mike's Pizza, it might be Mike's Pizzeria. All one word, but if you ever want to share direct access to your Google My Business page, that creates a direct link. And it'll give you that in your Google dashboard, g.page/Think Idea Studio. Now you can get directly to your business. So that's why those are important. You might choose to use those in marketing from time to time, but it's not a major point here. So just wanted to share that with you. Okay. So that's a little bit on the Google My Business. I'm going to shift gears just a few minutes to talk about pay-per-click and Google AdWords. And I'm not going to keep you guys a whole lot longer. We've got she said 45 minutes and she's cutting me off. So, this one is about pay-per-click and Google AdWords. And I really wanted to dive into this because when you start signing up for Google My Business, they want to sell you AdWords. They want to sell you AdWords and they will sell it to you over and over again. They will give you free stuff for Google AdWords, and that's okay. They'll say, here's a $20 gift card or a voucher to use AdWords. That's fine. You can totally use AdWords, but just know that when you're doing that, all traffic is not good traffic. Just any traffic to your website, any click can just be costing you money if it's not the right types of clicks. So when you sign up for that, if you are not well versed in Google AdWords or you do not have someone that can manage that account, you can use your coupon, that's fine, but I would not continue to try to use AdWords on your own unless you've done extensive research or unless you have hired some professionals to do Google AdWords. So again, it's not on Google AdWords, basically that's when you type in the search. So electricians near me, it will then say, Google basically asks who is bidding on electricians near me. And if McGrew Service is bidding, they'll say, okay, how much are they bidding? If it's $5, if it's $1 per click, what is their cost per click on that? And then how relevant is the ad? So if it's electricians near me and I'm bidding on that as a plumber, they're not going to be likely to click on my ad. So even if my ad, I choose to $10 a click, Google's probably not going to show it, because even if I'm willing to bid $10 a click, I'm probably not going to get clicked. So it's about relevancy. It's about making sure that they're optimized correctly. And again, they're best managed by people that track these out and do these pretty consistently. We actually track conversions with Google Ads. A conversion would be a call or a form submission on your website. We can show the clients a ton of clicks, but if we're not showing client conversions, showing clients actual action that's spent there, then we can't justify the money that's spent. So just be careful with the pit of Google AdWords. They are fantastic and they work for a number of businesses. We run them successfully. But if you're just dabbling in it, make sure that you don't accidentally start an account and just start spending money there, because it's really hard to gauge. So just want to make sure we bring that up. Okay, this is my fun one. This is kind of bonus for the seminar, but we just talked about how reviews are so important to businesses, and I think it's so important for us as a business community to continue to encourage one another. With that, we have this 5-star challenge that we like to throw out there for people that we know and people we come in contact with, and it's just as simple as choosing a business that you've done business with each month and give them a 5-star review. If they've given you good service, give them a 5-star review and tell a little bit about your experience. If we all work together, we can overcome those negative reviews by helping each other and helping each other's business. Now, don't create something that doesn't exist, but if you've eaten somewhere, if you've been somewhere, keep in mind, they thrive off their 5-star challenge, off these 5-star reviews. And so it doesn't take very long, especially after you know how to do it, to go in there and give them a quick positive review. So just want to encourage you guys in that. Okay, so I'm ending here with this. I know I covered a lot quick and I had a lot of slides. I definitely anticipate questions, so if it doesn't happen here, please reach out to me. We do have a free digital score on our website. If you want to get your business's digital score, it takes some things into consideration and calculates it, and then I will formulate those and send them back to you at thinkis.com/score. We're ThinkIdeas Studio, and we specialize in really small to medium-sized businesses, a lot of times in rural areas. And then we like to take those businesses and try to figure out what opportunities they have to succeed, how we can get their marketing in sync with what their needs are, and they're not just wasting a lot of money, like running down Google pay-per-click ads and not making any actual cash or revenue from it, or getting caught up with some of the Wix and some of the GoDaddy products that may be difficult. We're happy to help out with those and try to steer you in a direction that helps best for your business. So if you need anything, definitely let us know. Reach out to me. Happy to follow up with this. Again, I know I covered a lot. I could have spent 2 hours doing it, but I just wanted to try to hit the highlights and try to leave you guys with some value there. So at that, I will give a little bit of time for some questions.
Yeah, this is your time. This is your opportunity to ask him a question. Maybe you could do a quick, think to yourself, do I even have my business claimed? Did I claim my business? So that's like a first, right? Did I do that? And then just think about where you might be stuck. It isn't often that you have area experts. And so ask away. And if not, please reach out to him. We have found in our seminars that what happens is they get inundated afterwards, which is totally fine if you feel more comfortable asking then.
Yeah. So how many people that I can see some that are on, how many have a claimed business?
Oh, excellent.
Awesome. And are you able to get in there and manage it regularly? Do you check it very often? Who does Google My Business posts? Awesome. Y'all do Google My Business posts. Have you seen any success with your posts?
Well, yeah. So I will say we run the Underground Tour, and we did a COVID specific post. Mm-hmm. And we had 15,000 people look at it.
Wow. See that, and that's great to see, because now you're getting that message out and getting it across.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, I think it's huge, and it's definitely going to play a role in getting traffic. And I've seen so many businesses that would just, even big businesses that just have misinformation on there. Another thing to make sure you guys check is check and make sure that your communication lines are working. Check your forms on your website. I've seen that very often, that the emails that are set up there aren't getting received. We actually had ours the other day just start going to my junk mail for whatever reason from our website. So we had to go fix that. So things like that happen. So constantly monitor your contact information. It can cost you quite a bit of money if that stuff is not accurate. So,
and I would say also from a Main Street perspective for businesses during this time, this is such a challenging time. If you could do one thing, it would be to update your hours as they change, because that is happening. Just if you could do that, because they're finding you on maps and they're finding you on search, but if your hours are incorrect, that is a real frustration for the customer. So if that could be sort of a regular thing you do, if my hours are changing or I'm going to be closed or whatever, you can change it, and you can change it every day. It doesn't matter. It's fine to go in and change it. But that would be it's the number one complaint that we get, is that what's online doesn't match in person. So I would really stress that that's an important, especially now, that's a really important thing.
absolutely. It's really frustrating when you drive to a business and they're closed and they could have told you they were closed.
Linda? Yeah. You're muted.
I hit it by accident. Okay. Hi, Linda Graves, and I'm representing a nonprofit. And we operate more or less virtually without an address. Will this adapt to our way of doing business?
Yes, you don't have to have an address. You can do some general information in there. And so, I mean, it's good if you have one that you can just associate with that. That's best.
We have an address that we use on everything, but I mean,
Yeah.
It's a person's house. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be kind of up to them if they want to put that in there. It can work without it. It's best with an address, so keep that in mind. But definitely you want the information out, because if they start searching your branded terms or anything about your nonprofit, then it's just another opportunity to show up. So.
Okay.
And Linda, well, we run a nonprofit too, and you don't have to have, you can turn the map feature off in your Google. There's a lot of things that you can turn off, so someone's not driving to someone's house. Yeah. You'll see that you have that opportunity. I actually have to fake an address because we're a PO box. So
yeah, we have a PO too, but
so I absolutely know.
There's a lot of small businesses that are willing to put their address on there. Again, I use the plumber situation, but if they want to put their business on there, it's going to help some. So if you can, and it's not odd, I would recommend doing it for sure, because that proximity, remember, is one of those ranking factors. And just a looser proximity sometimes doesn't give you the ability to rank as well. So it's okay if not, and you can function if not, but if you can, it's great.
Appreciate that information. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, thank you for being on.
All right. Well, I'm going to round this out. First of all, thank you, Justin, so much. This was great. This has been recorded, so we will send out the recording. We appreciate you being here. Next month, we have 2 new sessions, and so you'll get an email with what those are. And please take his score. Take that address down and go ahead and score your business, because information, any incremental change that you can make to make your business better is a good thing to do. Don't take it as, oh no, I have so much to do. Take it as, oh, I could do this one thing and I would be closer to being, better at what I do. So thank you, Justin. We appreciate you. And again, we appreciate the Arkansas Community Foundation and Main Street Arkansas for allowing us to do this. And we will see you next month. Thank you, everyone.